please comment, like,
share, and subscribe.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Spicy, tasty vegan cuisine. Yeah.
Good morning, beautiful.
Good morning, beautiful. How are you? You looking gorgeous?
Thank you.
Yeah, what an opportunity.
Say that again. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said, what an opportunity to see you on Zoom.
Amen. You as well. I was just telling everyone that I need to, because I was having technical difficulties with a laptop that my friend loaned me, because for some reason my laptop will not connect to the internet anymore.
Okay.
So I just need to move things over. And then we're waiting for 2 other people. Let me just send them a message to let them know. And then let me just send Brother Nigel. And then I'm just going to go ahead and get started. As soon as I have my questions, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. And when they happen, they can join. Yourself, because like I said, I'm having limited technical issues because I'm on a laptop I'm on a tablet instead of a laptop. Thank you so much, Brother Jehu. Ms. Leticia, will you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Good morning. I'm a licensed cosmetologist and esthetician for 2 decades. I'm getting my undergrad degree right now in nutrition. And I'm a community health advocate. I've been plant-based. I call myself a health reformer. And I've been plant-based now off and on consistently for 12 years. But I grew up in a home where my mother was...
Okay, yes, I'm Mama Naasira, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to introduce my husband. We do this occasionally, so I'm going to give you a little bit of background on my husband, Dr. Gregory Joe Bledsoe, affectionately known as Dr. Joe. He's a graduate from San Jose State University in political science, and he has a law degree, a JD. My husband is a vegan chef, and he has been for the past 30-something years, and has been vegetarian for I guess about 40 years. Yes. It's been a long time. He's also have done a lot of events in terms of for the Oakland Street Peace Festival during the early 2011 after the the 9/11 affair. So there was a lot of challenges there, and my husband in Oakland got a lot of the communities together. He's taught 30 years. And by the way, we met while I was working as a library tech, and we both were married, and we kept running into each other. And the last time we met in the health food store. And from that day on, he has been in my life supporting me with all of the different things that is required for me to take care of my body, which in turns I take care of his body. So we're 1-in-1 here in the Gambia, almost 5 years. So I just want to thank you for allowing us to come and give a little bit background on ourselves.
Okay, and I'll just move this, get closer to her. And now we've written 3 books on health and nutrition, and 2 are current bestsellers. Spicy, Tasty Vegan Cuisine, that's the informative guide for melanin or people of color. That's the #1 bestseller in Amazon. And our other book for the general public, which is Spicy, Tasty Vegan Cuisine, an informative guide for healthy living, is #1 in the UK. And now for my wife. Mama Naasira, she's a native from San Francisco.
Yes.
She graduated from City College there with an Associated Arts degree from the Library Technical Department. And she has a BA from New College of California. She's a mother of 3 healthy and genius sons. She's been married over 40 years. She's a noted vegan chef, a health advocate, and an entrepreneur for over 40 years. cooking and catering experience. She's been on a plant-based diet for about over 40 years and a vegan for nearly 20. And many consider her, including myself, the best vegan chef in the world.
Thank you.
I can attest to that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you so much.
welcome.
We're going to delve into food in a few. Brother Nija, welcome.
Welcome.
Mama Naasira, do you all mind muting yourself? I'm so sorry. Mama Naasira, would you mind muting yourself so it won't be any echo? Brother Nija, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning to all. Yes, the health part of me, I got into health when I was about 5 years old because, like, one of the sisters, I forgot who that was, she said her mother, Leticia. She said her mother was a vegan. Yeah, my mother was too, but I didn't know what that was at 5 years old. So I've actually been around it all my life. And my experiences, my family, illnesses in my family, watching people get sick, and just me being very inquisitive. I've learned a lot of stuff. I don't have any formal, let's say, school training. I just have life training and things that I've gone through in my own life. I'm a massage therapist. I was a massage. I don't do it any longer. I was a massage therapist for 16 years. I work with a lot of different. I worked with Alvin Ailey, some other groups that I don't remember now because I haven't done it in so long as far as massage therapy. But the health field, I just live it. I'm a truck driver, and out here, most of you know that truck drivers are overweight, bad health, can't see, half them can't walk. They have high blood pressure, so I watch them. Some of my friends died. Some of them are sick. Some of them can no longer drive. I just, like I said, I'm just a watcher, and I didn't want to be like that. My dad, my sisters, they're all overweight. My mother died from breast cancer, so that kind of like catapulted me into this field 100%. I'm not totally, I'm about 80% plant-based, but I don't eat any, I'm what they call now a pescatarian. So for the most part, that's all I would eat that, but I'm getting off of that now because I just don't have a taste for it any longer. That's my experience. I stumbled into doing supplements recently because what it was is my stepdad was saying, why don't I get into supplements? And I thought, why would I do that? Because people don't want that. He said, you surprised. People do want it. Some people just, they don't know what they want, and if you offer it to them, and he was like, well, get on eBay and all this other stuff. But anyway, like that's how I'm starting to make the supplement, and it's very interesting. The other, I've been around as far as mixing them up together. I'm coming up in the 70s. Well, no, I'm gonna leave that story out.
We'll talk about the supplements. We will get into the supplements and vitamins into this discussion later on as well.
Yeah, but that's me. I'm still a trucker. I'm actually moving now, and I didn't know if it would glitch, so I left the camera off because I don't know if it's even coming out. But
okay, no worries. We know that you are working, and I appreciate each and every one of you for joining me because we are all in different time zones. I think only Mama Naasira and Dr. Joe and myself are in the same time zone. So thank you so much. We have Fatima. She's supposed to be joining us, but I just wanted to say, like during this discussion, we're going to talk about how food affects us mentally, emotionally, how it affects our oral health, and our overall well-being. We will also discuss how many people use foods to deal with trauma. I know we have limited time, so we're going to go ahead and delve into everything. But before we move any further, Travel with TayTay, Shauntay, has to thank Brother Jehu, Miss Leticia, and Brother Nija and Miss Fatima for donating. We appreciate each one. You all have donated. You all have supported me throughout my time in the Gambia, and I appreciate you. We appreciate you. The children appreciate you. The Gambian community appreciates you. So thank you. so let's get into the first question. So I know many of you have had, some of you have had formal educational training, and some of us is just life experiences in regards to food and our overall well-being and health-wise. In about a few minutes, we'll start with Brother Jehu. I'm just going to start with the way everyone is on my screen. How has it affected your overall well-being by going to a vegan lifestyle? You and your wife are 2 years vegan lifestyle. How has that affected your overall well-being, your energy level? Do you mind sharing that?
Absolutely. Our reasons for undertaking the vegan lifestyle are very intrinsic. Basically intrinsic. We both suffered from chronic conditions, me, hypertension, my wife dealt with diabetes. And this actually was something that ran in both of our families. And we both realized that going forward, we didn't want to have to continue to, take medication to be here. It was like we didn't need medication to stay here as far as life. So we knew that there had to be a different way. We both had tried this once before, and for about a year, it hadn't gotten some really good results. And I told my wife, I said, we're getting older, why not just go ahead and switch to it completely? There were a lot of upside to it. Didn't really see any downside to it. And that was our reason for doing so. In doing that, we both have seen major improvement concerning both of our health conditions. I think quality of sleep is much better. Definitely energy level, sustained energy level throughout the day, much better. Ability to focus, which in my line of work, working as a dental hygienist, having good hand-eye coordination and being able to focus for sustained periods of time is a necessity. So I benefited from it professionally. And I would basically say just the fun of it, because my wife, she, for the most part, does all the cooking. So, Dr. Joe, I just got your book. I just ordered that. So,
wow. What a blessing. Thank you.
She's always looking for new sources. She loves cooking vegan meals. She's great at it. She's really, really great at it. So I've got that for her. So I know she's she's asleep right now, but when she wakes up and checks that out, I know she's going to get a kick out of it. But yeah, so it's been great. We've enjoyed it. Have no intention on going back. And just the only regret is that we didn't make the switch sooner.
Well, thank God you made the switch when you did, right? It's never too late.
That's right.
Yeah. Miss Leticia, do you mind answering that question? But I also want you to answer how it affects your skin. Do you mind adding that to it as well?
Yes, absolutely. So, like I shared earlier about my experience growing up with my mother. My father, he ate everything from the rooted to the tooted. My mother was a strict plant-based eater. Growing up in the home, I love my parents. God rest their souls. They're both deceased now. But growing up in the home, I would watch my mother prepare her meals. They were always she was so thorough, and everything was so clean and precise. And then I would watch how she would prepare like meat dishes and things of that nature. And it was kind of like, she would just like salt, pepper, flour, fried it. And I realized at an early age, I like the other way where it's prepared, with more love and care as opposed to just seasoning something up. So I carried that along with me my entire life. Now, in relation to how it affects me internally, I suffered from anemia, which basically means a lack of iron. And so when I started my journey on becoming, just my own journey, I went through a program with Dr. Thomas Jackson. It was a pathophysiology program, a holistic program, because I wanted to learn the relationship between food and how it's processed in our body. And so with doing that, that's when I decided to officially make the complete change, no dairy, no byproducts of an animal, and it's changed my life tremendously. I'm in my 40s. I have 3 college students, 2 sons that are engineers, and my daughter is pre-med major. And just raising them in that type of environment, I've seen how they've soared academically, me, myself, like I mentioned earlier, I'm getting my undergrad degree in nutrition, and it's helped me tremendously. I used to struggle with math. Now I can honestly say I'm an A student in college algebra. And it's not that I'm any brighter than anyone else. I can honestly say it's directly related to my diet. And in regards to my skincare, I myself am, like I said, I own currently a salon, and I'm in the process of starting an online supplement company. I want an online presence, and so I'm doing a lot of things in that arena. But people tell me all the time, I work out 5 days a week. People tell me all the time, your skin is glowing. I don't wear foundation. I throw lipstick on occasionally. But women, men, children, my siblings, they're like, your skin literally radiates. I mean, it's flawless. And I tell people, it's my lifestyle. And I take supplements, and like Mr. Nigel shared earlier, how he mixed supplements. I started incorporating supplements into my diet because the medicinal properties aren't there. And I can truly attest to the fact that it shows. People see me all the time, different races, ages, and they're like, oh my God, your skin is glowing. And sometimes I even say it to myself. So I know it's a test to plant-based. So yeah. And I'm going to purchase it as well today, the Spicy Tasty Vegan.
Yes.
Going to make that.
They have some basic recipes in it. Amazing
Yeah,
recipes.
try them. Trust me.
Mama Naasira and Dr. Joe?
Yes, who's gonna go first?
You go first.
Okay, as
You have to unmute yourself, though.
oh yes,
Okay.
right there.
We are now unmuted, and Mama has the floor.
I am so excited to have been chosen to come aboard to speak about my lifestyle as not only a vegan. I would say I'm more plant-based because I was plant-based when I prepared meats. I learned from when I was 19 years old, and before that, my mother did not work, so we ate whole foods, we ate healthy, we had lots of beef, we didn't eat much of any pork. My mother was real creative with cooking greens, but she loved her ham hocks. And they were good because they weren't the inexpensive one, they were the quality ones. So it was more meat on it. So it wasn't just fat, because for some reason fat food just never worked with me. Someone gave me a fat ham hock when I was, I think about 7 or 8, and I didn't know what to do with that fat meat. So I put it aside. And the lady said, oh, you're not gonna eat it? I said, no. She said, well, I will. And so she took it. So that let me know that the way my mother raised me, I wasn't familiar with a lot of greasy foods either. So what happened to me after leaving home at 18, going to college, I started eating fast foods because it was easier for me to get my work done, because I worked as a nurse part-time and was studying. And eating from McDonald's in 1971, there was a McDonald's right across the street from the college I attended. And that was really the beginning of a slippery slope to ended up getting hepatitis B at the age of 19. And it really occurred with working as a medical tech. I had gotten that position, and I was drawing blood from a patient and accidentally, got stuck with the needle. And I guess all of the way I was living, partying, drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, and doing all those things that young people do. But it was really a blessing that when I got the hepatitis, the doctor told me, you need to eat the way your mother raised you. And I just been 47 plus years doing that. So I've taken soul food that we grew up with and turned it into a vegan soul food. And I could say in all the years I was around a lot of different people, and moved around in various places like Alaska, Canada, San Jose areas. So you meet all these people, and I was always introducing my way of eating. I have 3 sons who are exceptionally healthy, because when I got my own place at 21, I was really into cooking, no more roommates. And when I married and had children, I had a wonderful way of preparing food, mainly with stews, what I learned from the Nigerians when I was in college. That's why in my book, my first recipe is an African stew. And that's with a little bit of everything in it. And at the time when I used to have meat, I would cut it in small pieces and fry it with onions, garlic, celery, and so forth, and spices. You know, that has really helped me with this slowing down the aging process. You know, I'm 67 years old. Sometimes I look 67, and sometimes, amazingly, I look a little less than 67. So I want to just tell everybody to be patient with yourself. It's a lifetime. Getting on a lifestyle that's not someone else's. We need to know so much about ourselves. Blood type, that's another thing too. But I'll leave the other for my husband.
Oh, well, thank you. You know, what my wife has said has kind of mirrored what has happened to a lot of people. You know, health gets your attention when you're in pain. Family, we had a lot of eating of that traditional soul food. So we had the heart attacks, the strokes, the gout, the baldness, the blindness, on and on and on. At an early age, I lived with the Seventh-day Adventist family, and they didn't eat pork, but they were into eating a lot of that soy, which I found out later was a no-no, double no-no, no-no-no. I was blessed to meet Naasira, and I have to cut a whole lot because, you know, we're older people, so we've had a lot of experience. But I was blessed to meet Mama Naasira when she was serving food for people. And
Catering.
Yeah, well, she was catering, and I thought, well, it would be great if we had classes. You know the old saying, if you teach a person how to fish, they can fish for themselves. Well, I bet on the wrong horse. What happened is the word spread, and we had more people than before. So I said, well, let's just write our cookbook.
So we retired.
And we retired, and we started to write the cookbook, which turned out to be a book. And we had to include the questions we had from everyone. And as you can see, the book is very comprehensive. It's called The Masterpiece. But it took us 27 months, no TV and no radio, because our people are dying. And we wanted to include those things to let them know why, specifically, because our bodies are very different, and the doctor can attest to that. Our biochemistry is different. If our bones are 10 times stronger or harder than a European's, then you can imagine our T-cell count, is hemoglobin count, all of that is different. They have more sulfur in their body. That's why in their melanin cells, that's why when they get wet, they give off that smell. And they have more ammonia salt in their body to keep them warm. That's why we can be in those offices and cold. They ain't cold. They can walk around with sharp pants in the snow. We can't do that. They have more worms and parasites to break down the food. So they can eat those meats, and sometimes people we can't do because our bodies are very different. And once I found out that, yeah, there is a difference. And if we eat the food they eat, we can have a problem. And that's not bashing their medical association, because every person should take care of their people. And they had an obligation to do so. Mm-hmm. But since our bodies are very different, if we take the same medication for the same symptoms or whatever, we have a problem. And so, thus forth, we came out with the book with over 50 no-soy, non-gluten recipes. We have information on almost everything you can think of, and the herbs and spices, so you can design your lifestyle. You can make a transition from where you are by healthy substitutions. Mm-hmm. And we have information in there, which is very important, about forgiving, because you cannot heal unless you forgive. And we have a method and step for doing that. And what's most important with missing information, chapter 5, most men are slow, which simply means the average man does not begin to mature until he's about 50. And it also points out that if you are a female, your body is more efficient. In other words, you got a superior body than ours. That's why more male babies die than female babies. That's why we get more heart attacks, gouts, strokes, all the whole bit. And information that was left out is that a woman's brain is 1/4 heavier than ours. So that deals with things like language acquisition. That's why a man is a fool to try to argue with a woman. Intuition, multitasking, pain management. It goes on and on and on. But you guys get the book because we have the melanin connection and all of that. And in terms of how it's helped me by eating differently, what I have found is that my chromosomes have started to come back together. And when your chromosomes start to come back together, your DNA, which was once severed, starts to come back. And that Christ-like consciousness that is talked about is revealed because you become your divine self. And you're like that sister, you got that glow that just won't go.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Brother Nigel.
Okay.
The question, how has your research and education changed your overall well-being health-wise?
I was overweight. I think I was 46. I think I was 46. Yeah. From trucking, I wound up, getting. I think it's one L4, L5. L4 and L5 was bulging, and it pressed on my nerves to give me sciatic pain. So I went to the doctor. He's like, oh, you're gonna get you have to get the operation, because that's the only way to alleviate the pain. So I was already eating healthy, but not like that. I had fell off the wagon totally. I think I was eating fried chicken and Slurpees.
Oh.
And so I wound up getting to like 240, when my normal weight is like 190, 188, between 180 and 190. So he was like, oh, if you don't get the operation, you're just gonna be in pain the rest of your life. Okay, needless to say that didn't happen. I wound up losing the weight. I got in better shape than I've ever been in at that point in time. And as far as I did it with eating, exercising, some supplements, it just worked out a lot better for me to just go, mostly plant-based. It's so funny to say that, just eating healthy. I haven't eaten pork, and I don't even, actually, to be honest with you, I don't know when the last time I even had a hamburger or pork. I think I was in my early 20s, because it used to just hem my whole system up. So I think I found out that was bad for me, and how I transitioned, I just started replacing things. Dairy, all the stuff that I learned about health is, I had wound up having stuff that happened to me. So dairy, I had hay fever, and I read this book, which Mama Naasira and her husband, I forgot, Dr. Joe, maybe you guys have heard of it. It's called Become Young Again by Dr. Walker, and I think he made the book. He was 116, and he died at 126 years old.
Wow.
So I read that book, and it was talking about hay fever and the things that, get it that aggravate it. And so I stopped the dairy, I cleaned it out, I started doing a lot of stuff to dry up the mucus in my system, and they say you can't get cured. They said there's no cure for hay fever. Well, that's a lie, because I don't have it anymore, and I don't even know, I don't know the year or anything, because I didn't, keep count of that part of it. But all the stuff that I learned is through trial and, like I said, watching people. So now I know how to deal with sciatica. And what else? I think Leticia, one of your things you said anemic. You said what was it? Anemia, right? Am I right? Was that it? Okay. So I even studied that, like through different friends. I wound up listening to their problems, and this is not even written in a book. I know that when you intake I've seen. So I could be wrong medically because I never read it anywhere. I don't know if that's 100%, but I know that from what I've seen, and I ask people questions, those are the people who have done that. As far as the supplements are concerned, like I said before, I was around a lot of it. Say it again?
Sorry. We'll get into the supplement.
Oh, okay. You're just talking about that. Okay. So it changed my life altogether. It just made me a healthier person. I studied martial arts for a while, and I couldn't do it. So that's what really geared me to doing the I kickbox, and I couldn't do it. So I really wanted to do that. So I had to get myself back in shape, and I started fighting again. And I was fighting at 46. So that just really helped me out a lot. And I still train, but not as hard as I used to train. But I'm still flexible. I can still do splits, which I know people say, why do you want to do a split? It's just being flexible, and it helps me out. And I'm older now, and I'm still as flexible, and I don't know if it's fast as I used to be, but as far as eating healthy, that just helps me out a lot. It helps me feel good. I feel good. I have to be alert on the road, like I'm talking to you, and I probably should be in this meeting because I'm still driving, but I'm not looking at the camera. So that's about
What do you think?
Yeah, that's my that's the only thing I can say about it. Like
Okay.
It's just my life. I don't have a choice.
Yeah. Thank you. So, for me, like I know Dr. Jones and Mama Naasira talked about how the soul food dishes, how she changed them she made them more healthier and plant-based. For me, before I came to the Gambia, 4 years before I came to the Gambia, I had meat. I was a strict pescatarian. I didn't eat meat. So, but I like to cook, and I found out that with me transitioning to a more plant-based, more vegan lifestyle, I have to prepare everything. If I don't cook, I don't eat. I live alone.
Please comment, like,
Share, and subscribe.
follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Spicy, tasty vegan cuisine. Yeah.